Hi, this is Paul from Hunt's Photo Education, here to talk to you about exporting for DNG through Lightroom. The DNG file format is a really interesting format. We're specifically using it in this case for our edit to print class because we are going to be going in and re-editing photos that you have already gone in to edit so that we can make them as good as possible for the print format. The DNG format is essentially a raw format. However, when you're using a raw file and you go to export it as a JPEG or as a TIFF, what ends up happening is you can't go back in and re-edit that JPEG or TIFF because it's not a lossless file. You can save that file, that raw file, as a raw file again, but then you have this little sidecar XMP file which just gets a little bit messy. There's nothing wrong with it. DNG just kind of neatly puts it all together in one file. So essentially you've got a raw file with all the changes that you've made, and so that we can go back in and re-edit it in a lossless format, we've got it ready to go. So I have an image up here on the screen that I'm going to export. So we're going to start with this file that we have here, and we're going to start working with it. We're going to actually start from scratch here. And so I'm going to go in and do a couple things, some basic things like go to change the profile, and I don't know, maybe I'll bring my exposure up a little bit, maybe I'll bring my highlights down, shadows up, bring up my whites, bring down my blacks, maybe change my color tone slightly, add a little bit of vibrance in here to kind of make it a little bit more appealing. Maybe we're happy with how that's coming out, so I'm going to go now, File, Export, and I'm going to, in export location, choose a location that's a little bit better. I'm going to choose my pictures folder and go to Lightroom Sample Images, which is just a generic place to put things for right now. And I'm going to check off this box that reads Add to this catalog. You don't need to do this simply because this is not something that you would normally want to add to the catalog. And then I'm just going to keep the file naming structure pretty much the same, but down here, where I have image format, I want to set it to DNG as opposed to JPEG or TIFF or anything else like that. And the DNG format is going to retain everything in RAW. So when I go to finally export this, which that's pretty much all I need to do, so I go ahead and export it, and now this file right here, this is the new DNG that I just created. And you're going to see all of the changes that I've made all on the side here. And the cool thing is, because it's a DNG, it's still technically raw. So when I hit the reset button, it's going to bring it back to that original format that I had, so I can reset. If I made a bunch of edits that are really kind of useless, this is going to have them all saved. So this is Paul from Hunt's Photo Education. Good luck. Hopefully we see you in our upcoming edit to print class.